When I read the first chapter of Earthchild on its initial release in 2022, it felt like I was about to embark on a journey through a story that felt original and unique. And by the end of chapter 3, I felt like the writing was already on the wall for a series that drew me in with its promises, only to throw them immediately in the bin and become one of the most boring and predictable stories I had ever read. Welcome back to the Manga Graveyard. I will most likely be mispronouncing names. I am sorry in advance. Whilst on an evening walk, Reisuke Sawada is milliseconds away from becoming a stain on the road until his life is saved by a woman who, without touching the oncoming lorry, effortlessly lifts it into the air and sets it down behind them. Reisuke, reeling from his near-death encounter, registers in his mind his savior's hair, forehead, eyebrows, eyes, clothes, and weird mask before his mind is wiped. Waking up in his home the next day, Reisuke can only remember the events leading up to the previous evening before his memory becomes a blank. The only thing he can remember is the woman and how pretty he found her to be. On a chance encounter several days later, Reisuke sees the same woman again, this time in broad daylight, unmasked, and in regular clothes. At the sight of his savior, his memories from that night return, and he reaches out to her only to be mistaken for some kind of pervert until he reminds her that she saved his life, and he can remember that night, leaving the mystery woman suspicious at that fact. Cut to a cafe and the two are sat a seat apart. The mystery woman, clearly still suspicious as to Reisuke's intentions and the fact that he still has his memories, takes down his name and details to conduct a background check that reveals that he's just a normal guy, with no special relevance. As he presses the mystery woman about that night, she interrupts him, tells him to stop digging or his life will also become hell, just like her own. As Reisuke starts to spit some S-class game and lowers the mystery woman's guard, she explains in loose terms her job as a telekinetic agent who works on behalf of governments in peace-preserving activities. She tentatively asks him what he thinks about it. When Reisuke remarks that a person like that would be considered a hero, the mystery woman softens again, reveals her name to be Kareri Hoshifuri, and vanishes, once again wiping Reisuke's memory. Kareri? Kareri sounds wrong. Kareri's internal dialogue reveals that she believes that she's done it for the right reasons and doesn't want to get Reisuke involved in her clearly dangerous life. However, the next day, as Kareri is dealing with a hostage situation, she allows her curiosity to get the better of her and writes a message intended for Reisuke on a villain's back, knowing that it will be broadcasted on the news. As Kareri... I shouldn't have chosen a manga with a very difficult to pronounce name. As Kareri sits in the same cafe wondering whether she's made a mistake or not, Reisuke arrives having seen the message on TV and assuming that she had once again wiped his memory. The manga progresses and we see the two continue to go on dates, Kareri managing to balance her romantic life and superhero life whilst keeping the darker side of it away from Reisuke. She also gives an explanation to the Earthchild phenomenon and how it serves to act as the Earth's immune system, protecting it from threats. After Reisuke spits even more S-class game, he confesses to Kareri that he loves her, and she tentatively returns it. After 5 years, we see that Kareri has been seriously injured in one of her missions and laments the fact that her lifestyle is unfair on Reisuke due to its inherent danger. As she looks to give Reisuke an out of the relationship, Reisuke turns it completely around and affirms that he has always wished and prayed that Kareri would come back to him after every mission, and that for the last 5 years he's only ever accepted and supported her. In a daring display to prove to her that he believes in their relationship and the power of wishing for each other's safety, Reisuke leaps out of the hospital window, simultaneously asking Kareri to marry him. Kareri says yes, and the two hold each other in the night sky. As the two get married and have a son, Mamoru, it is explained that there is no chance of the Earthchild ability being passed down genetically. They can raise their child together to be normal and free of the responsibilities that were forced on Kareri. That is until a new threat to the Earth is discovered. An asteroid, large enough to slow the planet's rotation if it were to collide with Earth, is heading their way, and only Kareri, with her telekinetic powers being used at close range, can halt it and save the Earth. A furious Reisuke, who can't believe the risk that is being asked of his wife and the mother of his child, demands that the three leave, but Kareri, heroic as ever, agrees to the most dangerous mission of her life, not to protect the Earth as she has done so before, but to protect her new family, who have given her a real reason to live. As Kareri, now in space, contemplates her true reason for being an Earthchild and how maybe she was born for this exact purpose, concludes that she has no regrets of her life with Reisuke and their son Mamoru, and back on Earth, Reisuke still believes that his wife will come back to him, even as the shuttle starts to explode around her and take damage. Kareri, knowing that this mission will take her life, expresses that she wished she could have been around longer, if only to be a mother to Mamoru and a wife to Reisuke, her final words being, "Take care of Mamoru," before her shuttle collides with the asteroid, destroying it and saving the Earth. Reisuke, knowing that his wife has died while saving the world, barely has a moment to feel the intense emotions that come with losing a loved one, before he sees his son, Mamoru, levitate a small rock with his own telekinetic powers. Reisuke now faces having to raise an Earthchild himself, whose destiny may also be to die like his mother did in service to protect the Earth. Reisuke, now broken inside, must raise his son to be a hero, like Kareri was. Earthchild began with a genuinely heartwarming love story, and as many people have pointed out, Chapter 1 could have been a self-contained one-off without the need to continue the story. The powerful imagery and the strong conveyance of character emotions left many readers stunned, and for that, Hideo Shinkai should be praised. Unfortunately, the manga would see a steep decline in audience, and whilst this wasn't unjustified, it still feels like a shame. Personally, I thought that very little was happening week to week as I continued to read on release, and overall the promise and hype from that first chapter just never made a reappearance. Many of the reveals that I won't cover here for spoilers felt like backtracks in a story that started out bold and very quickly became predictable. Whether or not something is bad is up to an individual's belief and interpretation of a story, so I won't start throwing labels around here. But what I will say is that ultimately, I was disappointed with where the story was heading and how it ended. But what do you think? If you haven't, please go and give Earthchild a read. It's only 27 chapters, which is even shorter than Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin, which I previously covered. And let me know what you think about it over in my Discord or in the comments below. And as always, please like and subscribe. It helps an unbelievable amount, and also leave any recommendations of what I should cover down below. I'll catch you in the next one.